is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
Hello guys, today I'm in Mana Contemporary at the ASCAF Residency Program with June and Sira. How are you, June?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I have to say you have a very good speaking voice. I'm sure the listeners will love. Your voice is very relaxing.
Really?
Very tranquil. I'm surrounded by her beautiful artwork. If you guys want to come check it out Thursday, the reception is Thursday. It's a must-see. Do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm an artist from Norway. I paint figurative. I paint with tempera, which is an old recipe with egg and oil and water.
Oh, wow.
And it's, you have to use it quickly because it dries. So you have to put one color at a time, or the other colors will dry. So it's not the same as using oil, and you can just put on top and on top, or have a lot of colors on your palette. And
that's so cool.
So
I had no idea. I was actually going to ask you because it's so colorful and so many textures,
like,
but you can't really tell. Wow.
Yes, when you paint with tempera, the sort of the oil and egg goes in, and the pigment stays on top. Yeah. So you have to have a certain ground. You can't use any ground primer. Yes, primer, because you need a special primer that I make to make the pigment stay on top.
Stay on top.
And that's really like the lightning. So,
Yeah. And how long ago did you start this medium? Like, is this something that you started?
No, I started with oil, and
with
then
oil.
Like all artists, after some years,
you
can't.
Yeah.
Yes, because headaches every day.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, because of the turpentine. Because I loved using turpentine, of course.
Yeah.
So you have to stop. You have to figure another way. And tempera was young. Yeah. And I love tempera now. Now I love it. Oil has really good qualities, but
Yeah.
So.
And what's your creative process like?
I usually just start on a painting. I decide the same day or the night before. I seldom make sketches. Sometimes I just draw what I memory, but usually last years I've drawn from photos.
Oh wow.
So yes, I just go through photos and I find something I like and I just started painting it.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
And then how soon until you get an idea in your mind that it goes from an idea to a painting for you? Is that like right away or?
Right away. Yes.
Oh wow, right away.
Yes,
oh wow.
It's like the same day.
Yeah,
or
that's amazing.
The night before, and I start the day after. So.
And do you normally do you kind of like sketch a painting before, or you just go onto the painting?
No, I sketch. Usually sketch. Before I didn't sketch when I used oil, but now with tempera I sketch because when you put tempera on, the best you just have to do it in one go. If you put another color on top, it sort of kills the
pigment.
The pigment that goes on top. So you have to just do it in one go. So that's why I sketch now.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And do you find yourself in your everyday life, how do you keep track of your ideas? Do you write them down? Do you just let them stay in your mind?
Sometimes they just, when I see movies and I get a lot of pictures that I would like to make.
Also, while you're watching the movie, you're taking pictures? I love that.
I watch the movies, so I sort of have to I have to remember that. And sometimes I go back and take a photo. Sometimes I just stop the film and take a photo right away.
Oh, I love that. That was actually going to be a question. Does your brain ever relax? Are you an artist that you can enjoy real life and when you're not in the studio? Or are you always inspired? Are you always looking for beauty to bring onto your paintings?
Yes, you are always. But when I do relax, it's actually when I watch television.
Yeah.
Even though I see things I like that as well, so maybe I don't relax, but that's when I feel I relax.
And what are you inspired by? Just like TV, music, art, fashion?
Life, yes. Life
Everything.
Every day, yes. Of course, going to galleries, seeing the big artists. That's really when I need something. You just go to a museum.
And when you go to galleries, are you able to relax, or are you like looking at all the colors, thinking like, oh, how did you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I go close up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So sometimes sort of like, no, you're too close.
Yeah. And during your residency program here at Cafe Mena Contemporary, have you been able to like step away from the studio, go look at art, or have you just been like creating nonstop?
No, we have been going to see arts. We have going to galleries and museums, and we've been visiting a lot of artists here.
Oh, nice.
And that's been very nice.
Yeah.
There are some great artists there.
Yes. And you mentioned you're from Norway, right? Do you live in Norway currently?
Yes,
yeah?
I do.
And then do you have a studio space there with other artists around, or just you?
No, that's what's so different. I work alone. I go to my studio, see no one.
Oh, wow. Me too.
Often forget to eat.
Yeah.
And just work till I sort of, now I have to go home and eat.
Yeah, so you're so tired about to pass out, right?
So, and I love hearing, I always listen to music when I work. So this is very different from what I'm used to, but it's been nice to be with others and get inputs. Yeah, because I'm not used to that.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Are you an artist that while you're creating, do you like to hear feedback, or do you prefer to finish a painting and then like hear what people have to say?
No, I would like feedbacks, but not many see them. So.
So you'd like the feedback while you're creating or afterwards?
Yes, I would like that.
Wow, that's very amazing. A lot of like people artists that interview, they're like, "Don't come near me."
I would love that, because I was told when I went to Chelsea School of Art that someone should stand beside me and take my paintings away.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't overdo them, because sometimes you overdo it.
Yeah, it's very hard to like less is more. Yeah. That's what I think the trick is to learn.
You have to learn to go home when you're tired, or you're just going to ruin it.
And you mentioned listening to music while you create. Do you have like a favorite artist or genre of music?
Because I don't have time to sort of change anything, or I haven't made a...
Oh, you just keep it playing?
I just listen to the radio, really.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And do you find like the music that you're listening to the radio, like it impacts your work?
No.
No?
No, it just something makes me relax.
Gives you like an energy boost, like a coffee, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're very quick from the idea to go from your head to the canvas. When you first go in your studio, do you need like a few minutes to like to have a coffee, think about what you're doing, or like as soon as you come in, you're ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you normally like to work in the daytime or nighttime? Like, do you have a preference, or whenever inspiration?
I prefer to work in the daytime.
In the daytime?
Because I don't like, I always use the light, because tempera needs daylight.
Yeah.
So I never use these lamps.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. And do you and when you're, let's say like when you're stuck for inspiration and you're not having good ideas for paintings, what do you do for yourself that you're able to bounce back? Like, do you go in nature? Do you go to like museums and galleries?
Yes, both.
Both?
I love to go in the nature. That's really relaxing.
Oh, wow.
And it's relaxing to going to galleries, museums.
Yeah.
Because I don't look at everything like some do. They go from one picture to the other. I go through and I stop, and I can stay a while if that painting says something to me.
Oh, wow.
So,
Have you ever, like when you create your paintings, do you ever create something that you don't like? Like, are you the type to throw it out, or do you repaint it, or do you just leave it to the side for a few weeks?
It's like the painting, I have an idea, and the painting has another idea. It just is that way, and then I just have to go with the painting. But then I know I have to make another one. Okay. To try and make the first idea, and that's why I often end up with 3 or 4 of the same motive.
Oh, wow.
Painted very differently. So
And this residency program was, I believe, the month of July, right?
Yes.
Were you able to create a lot, like, of art, or go deep in your work? Like, what has been your experience here?
Going big, because my space is not that big, so that's why I have
only
3 paintings, and they are quite big.
Yeah.
And so this would be very big in my studio. So that's what's been. Oh, that's been really nice to have a big space.
No, they're lovely. And what who are your inspirations? Like, who do you look up to, or do you have like any other artists? It could be like music or art artists.
Of course, Munch. Edvard Munch,
okay,
of course.
Yeah.
And oh God, there are so many. Van Gogh, it's completely still. The one I like so much, American.
Yeah.
Who do you think I look like?
Would
you recognize him in my work? Who I like?
That's a tough question. I'm suffering from jet lag, and I just woke up not like 2 hours ago. It's very difficult, because I would say there's so many different elements. You know, the colors are so vibrant, and the texture, and the way you use shading and shadow is like perfection. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that's a little difficult for me, because I think your work is very unique.
And I'm really, really blank.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just so unique. I wouldn't be able to compare it to anybody. What do you think?
What?
Like, when you see your work, like, do you see pieces from different artists, or?
Yes, I probably see pieces from different artists.
Yeah. Is each painting, as you mentioned, like a photograph that you have before?
It's a photograph I usually have taken.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
that's amazing.
usually they are my photographs.
Yeah.
Yes, my private.
And do you ever paint yourself?
No, I've only done it once, I think.
Yeah. Do you like to, or no?
No, I don't like to.
No? Why not?
Because it's easy to paint others. And
I agree.
even though I paint others, I see myself in them.
Yeah.
So I paint myself in every painting.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. I'm like that too. Yeah. Yeah, I love painting people, but painting myself, I start to think too much. You know, it's like so fluid when you paint other people. It's so easy. It's like energy, you know.
Yeah.
And then I see there's like so much like daylight space. You mentioned you previously, I'm guessing Norway, you guys have like a restriction on daylight, like it gets darker.
Especially in the winter.
Especially in the winter.
It's dark at 4.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So do you
5
find
maybe? Yeah,
5?
4.
Wow.
No,
do you find yourself like creating more or less on depending the season, like artwork wise?
No, I think it's the same.
The same?
Or in the spring, of course. Spring, you have long hours.
Yes,
so
yes.
when the spring comes and the summer. So
yeah. Do you think that changes your mood and your ideas and inspirations?
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Do you think for the good or for the bad, or a little bit of both?
I think for the good.
For the good. And like, what's your next step after this residency program? Like, where like, do you have any plans coming up?
I have a separate exhibition in Oslo
next
year at Gallery Rangfjord.
Oh wow! Okay.
And I'm going to be a part of an exhibition she has in the US this autumn. I think it was in September. With 7-8 portraits.
Wow,
so
that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, June, do you want to share with us your Instagram, please?
It's June.Sirba.
Yes, so at June.Sir. So go please follow her. Fabulous artist, fabulous person. And also I wanted to ask, do you see yourself trying different mediums for the future?
I also paint with rabbit skin glue and
what is
pigments.
That? Wow, that sounds so exotic.
And
what is
water.
that?
It's and then you don't need the primer.
Oh, wow.
You just directly onto the canvas.
Yeah.
So I do that as well. That looks a bit like watercolor.
I can imagine. That's so fascinating.
So I do that as well.
Oh wow. And do you? Sorry. Go ahead.
Often draw. I often draw a lot and
wow.
use a little bit of rabbit skin glue on that
that's so
drawing.
cool.
So
and do you keep all of your work? Like, do you have like an archive of all the work you created or pictures of it?
I have an archive of everything I've sold to people.
Oh, that's amazing.
I sort of have all the
that's
names.
good too.
That's good.
Do you ever go back to like your old work if you're like stuck on a painting and you try to reference like a little piece of this, a little piece of that,
yes,
and combine it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was told when I made art, and then especially printmaking, because that's what I started with, and my professor said, always keep the best one for yourself.
Oh wow, that's amazing! I love that.
So I have all of my.
That's so genius.
Yes, so
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And growing up, like, did you always feel you wanted to be an artist?
I didn't think about it, but I loved drawing, so I was always drawing.
Oh wow!
But when it came to the point that, what should I do now?
Yeah.
After school, I thought, no, I just want to draw.
That's
so
amazing.
That's what I did.
Yeah, because I feel a lot of people I interviewed, they don't like they dream and their ambition is to be an artist, but they don't really know how to do that until they get older. And one question I always get from young artists that they like send to me to ask future guests is, what's an advice do you have for like a young artist that they know they want to be an artist, they feel it in their bones, but they don't know the next step to do? Like, do you have any suggestions?
No, you just have to do it, because you won't be happy if you don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true.
Just do it.
And another question that I get asked a lot, when somebody gets like a creative block where they can't come with any, like they don't get any inspirations, any new ideas, what's something that worked for you in the past when you're kind of stuck and you're not able to like, you're not creating work that you love? Like, were you able to like surpass that in any way? Like, would you have any advice to give to people that, I don't know if it's in English, that's how you say it, like creative block, I forget. Yeah. Sorry, English is my second language. You know, like when you don't have any good ideas for like a month or two, what's an advice that you would tell people to like, is
I
it
often
like
take a break.
You take a break?
Yeah.
And like, do you take
Not
a break
long
completely
break,
for art, or?
Just take a break, go to a museum,
and
it'll come.
Okay.
Sort of.
So just trust the process, basically.
Yes.
I like. June, do you think being from your country has impacted your work today? Like, do you see like any parts of your work having something to do with your culture and your background?
Of course, it has to do with my background, because it's me. It's everything I've experienced, and the culture is people. Culture is in everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So it's natural that it shows.
Yeah. And do you find like, do you think that gets transferred to your art?
Yes, I really think they do.
Yeah. I like that. And have you ever done any collaborations with other artists when it comes to art?
No.
No? Is that something you'd be interested in to do, or?
I don't know.
Maybe further down?
Maybe.
Who knows, right? That's the beauty of art. You never know. All right, June, thank you so much for having me here. I know you have the Thursday reception and today's Monday, and I really appreciate for taking the time. I know you're very busy.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Everybody, please come to the Thursday reception and check out June. Once again, it's at june.sierra Instagram. Beautiful work. Thank you so much for being with us today, and I'm so excited people get to hear about your background, your work, and they get to see your artwork on Instagram as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online. This is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world, broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
All right, guys, today we are here with Louise Dininger at the Mena Contemporary. She's a member of the ESCAF residency.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Thank you so much for being here, Louise. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
And I have to say, you have such a beautiful voice, such a soothing voice. So I'm sure like the listeners will love to hear you talk.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, hi. I am Louise Dininger, and I'm an artist, a conceptual artist in a contemporary way. And my work is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, which means that I use different mediums to do my work, such as painting, sculpting, collages, performances, film.
Oh, wow.
And I also use the material of dung in my artwork.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so as a conceptual artist, I'm very much interested in my audience, as in the human and their relationship to everything else. So consciousness is one of the topics that I cover. So it ranges from mundane to really deep work.
Yeah.
Consciousness, spiritual science, metaphysics, quantum theory, identity, gender, or feminist. The topics range from consciousness to spiritual science to metaphysics to self-leadership, self-development, identity, queer, feminist, and all that kind of agendas. So yeah, it varies from what I'm inspired to produce.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I gotta ask you, what energy drink or coffee are you drinking to be able to do all of this? You must be like working 24 hours, it seems, no?
Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds. Yeah, I'm in the flow. It just goes with the flow. So it depends. Sometimes the projects are small and sometimes they're big. However, I'm constantly in a creative process, so to speak. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I actually wanted to ask about creative process. What's your creative process like? Like when you go to the studio, do you get to work right away? Do you kind of relax, have like a coffee, chill out a little bit, then get to work? Do you work in the daytime, nighttime? What's your preference?
That's a very good question. Actually, I disciplined myself way back when I was doing my MFA at the Academy of Fine Arts University in Vienna, Austria, where I live. I also live in northern Uganda. Well, I disciplined myself to, like, when I get to the studio, the first thing I do, change into my studio clothes and start working immediately. That's the first thing I do when I get to my studio. So usually I get to my studio around about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I produce until maybe 5, 6. It depends on how inspired I am. Sometimes it can go a bit longer.
Oh, wow.
So I have a routine, Monday to Friday I'm in my studio. Unless I'm working on another project, then the weekends will be squeezed in. Yeah, so that's my routine basically.
That's beautiful. And how do you handle, like, if you go to the studio and you start to create, but you're not really getting out what you had in mind? Like, do you normally stop for the day, or do you push yourself? Like, how do you balance that?
Well, the thing is, I have again disciplined myself to always be working on a project. It can be something very small, like a painting or a sculpture or an object that I'm working on. So usually there's something that I have to create in my studio, and it's an ongoing process. So I start a painting and then I'll finish it, or continuously working on it. I work in series, so I'll be working on series. So basically when I'm in my studio, there is stuff to be done. I never really get into a situation whereby, I'm not inspired to do something. So no, it doesn't happen.
And then also I wanted to ask about ideas. Where do ideas come for you? Like, do you have to be in motion, like driving, traveling, or do you have to be still? Like, how does inspiration come to you?
Well, being a conceptual artist, my work is research-based.
Okay.
Which means that I'm constantly researching and also experiential in the sense that, I am an embodiment of what I'm producing. So I'm basically constantly inspired, be it, when I'm coming out of the train and going to my studio, or I find something online. There's always God. The archive in my brain is just so full of material.
Oh, wow.
So I'm inspired all the time.
Oh,
Yes.
Are you able to relax and or is your brain always thinking, always inspired?
Well, again, as I said, with experiential knowledge and the spiritual science that I depict in my work, it is also a practice.
Okay.
So I do my meditation, deep concentration, prayer, and meditation every morning. I've been doing that for the last 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's why you have amazing energy. I was about to say, like, meditation
you.
changed my life, and I just, like, recently started getting back to it with discipline. But, like, you have amazing energy. You're so peaceful and, just tranquility. So it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've got a morning routine. I do my meditation just to empty everything and to connect. Yes. And then start my day.
Perfect. Beautiful. And before this residency, did you always, like, when you're creating in your space, do you enjoy having, like, people around you, or do you find that distracting?
That's a very good question. After I finished my MFA, I was fortunate enough to be involved in a project in Vienna. And it's Floridsdorf Museum of Young Contemporary Art, and it is also a studio. It has studio spaces, so it's a museum with studio spaces. So I've always worked in a collective, which I think is inspiring for me as an artist, because then I've got my colleagues who are always there. We work on projects together. We speak to our works and influence each other and support each other, where possible, because it's things that you can do. Yeah. There's certain things that you're able to do and I'm not able to do. So supporting each other in that way. And it doesn't bother me to have people around me. Yes. That's part
beautiful.
Of the process.
I just previously, before you, I interviewed Jay, and he had the most beautiful things to say about you.
Thank you.
And then we were talking about the same thing, having people to talk to and collaborate, like, mentally with ideas. And he said you guys really enjoy that, doing that together.
Absolutely. Yes. Jay is amazing.
Oh,
yes.
Shout out to Jay.
Yes.
And do you think having, like, such a beautiful, cultural, diverse background like you have, do you think that influences your work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very happy and grateful that I was born in the family that I was born in, that I was born in the country that I was born in. I was born in Uganda, raised in Kenya, and grew up in the UK. Now I live in Austria, between Austria and northern Uganda. And I've also lived in other countries as well, such as Italy, short breaks in Amsterdam. In Holland.
Oh, yes.
That's the word, yes. So all these experiences I bring with me, and that finds itself into the works. Yes, so it's amazing. It's a gift to be able to be that person who interacts with so many, sees the world in different perspective, and I travel a lot too. So then my perspective is widened, and I'm able to bring this into my work. And this also supports the work in the sense that my audience usually find a way in which they connect with the work. So it speaks to a wide range of people. And that is mainly because of the experience that I bring with me and integrate it into my work.
Oh, well, that's beautiful. Hearing you say that, like, with your travelers and all your knowledge and everything, it reminds me, I love Maya Angelou. And my favorite quote that she says is, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of that, all your knowledge or your artistic knowledge and talent, coming into one body and having all of that around you. That's beautifully said.
Yes.
And what are you working on at the moment right now?
Whoa, another very good question. I just finished the paintings at Esquef. And the topic was quite amazing. Journey home. Through the spirit of the ancestors.
Wow.
So this was also a work that I invited other people to be involved in, especially women of color, indigenous women. And Jay was was included in this work. Yeah. So what happened in this series, there was contribution, and grandmothers came up quite a bit in the works. Yes, so Basically, it was a way in which I also appreciate and give voice to all those who supported me in that project. And also, to give them this platform whereby, a lot of people are going to be coming to see this show. And I'm also working with another artist downstairs, Daston. He's a photographer, so we're doing a collaboration together. I'm going to finish that this week.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Then I'm back to Vienna. I need vacation after this 3 months of really working
endless
hard.
creativity,
yes.
Right? And will you be back in the area after that?
No, then I'm going to Africa.
Okay.
And then I'll be back in Arizona in end of August.
End of August.
Yes, however, I have quite a few exhibitions coming up in Vienna, so I'm going to be working on that after my vacation. Yes.
That's so cool. So when I originally started this podcast, my idea was to kind of like interview the same person almost every year or every 2 years. So I'm very much looking forward to like seeing each other in like another year or two.
Yes,
maybe in a different country or continent, and then
yes.
catching up and seeing like how much you've gone.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very interesting, not only for the audience, they get to like kind of grow with you,
Beautiful.
but also they get to hear like a new episode and then go listen to your old episode. Be like, wow, look how much like what she was talking about 2 years ago. It's like exactly how she planned, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm very much looking forward for the future.
Thank you
hopefully
very
we
much.
see each other.
Thank
you
you
so much for being on this podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So I get a lot of written messages from young artists that always ask me, oh, can you please ask your future guest this question? So a question that a lot of people ask is, what would you tell like a young artist that knows in their soul they want to be an artist, but they don't know like what's the next step, or they're not taken seriously by their parents or their family or their surrounding? Is there any advice you would tell them?
That's a very, very good question, and an important one. If and when you have a passion for what you do, stick to it. And remain true to yourself, in the sense that, and this I noticed in the art industry or in the art market, that a lot of people tend to follow trends.
Yeah.
So, remain authentic to your voice and continue pursuing your passion and fall in love with what you do and be your first client or your first customer, as in love what you do as an artist. And then just keep going. You never know when that door will open. And the door opens according to how much effort and how much work you have put into your process. So it is a journey. It needs a lot of patience. So don't be impatient. Just continue doing what you do. In the end, the benefits that you will get is really mind-boggling. However, it needs you to stay true to yourself and keep going and keep doing what you need to do. Some artists say, oh, well, I have to hustle on the side. Of course, we all have to pay our bills. We all have to survive, That doesn't mean that you cannot stay true to what you love doing, So once you continue to just focusing on your work and doing what you need to do as an artist, you will meet success at a very unexpected hour. In my case as well, my family couldn't understand why I chose to do art. They would have expected me to maybe be a lawyer or
a doctor.
Be a leader. I am a leader,
Absolutely.
So they expected me to follow that path. However, my calling was different. So I am able to also change the world through what I do and also earn from what I do. And it's a process. It's a journey. It needs a lot of discipline. It needs a lot of commitment. It needs consistency. It needs belief, especially believing in yourself and your worth, and everything else will just follow.
Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. That was beautifully said.
Thank
I feel
you.
like you could do anything. Seriously, you could even be like a life coach with what you just said. It's so motivational, and I really hope the listeners really take that away, if anything, from
Thank
today.
you. I'm trained as a coach as well.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God. There isn't anything that you don't do, it seems. I'm telling you. I need to know what coffee and energy drink
I'm a
is.
satisfied leadership coach.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so glad we met today.
Thank you.
And do you mind sharing with us your Instagram and website, please?
Yes. Louise Deininger is my Instagram handle, and my website is www.louisedeininger.com.
Beautiful. And are you open to commissions if people reach out to you? Can they like do it through your Instagram or your website?
I do have my collectors,
Okay.
and from time to time they commission me to do work.
Okay.
And I have my agent and manager, so
Perfect.
everything is done through my manager and
okay,
agent.
perfect. So they can just like reach out to you on Instagram. You can just direct them to the other people.
Yes.
All right, perfect. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure having you here today. Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much for
much.
taking the time
Yes.
with your beautiful story, and it's been
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.